sponsored by We Are Wrestling. You can find
Make sure to subscribe, baby.
What is up? We are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide. I'm the host, the best one, Donnie, here with my co-host.
And what up, man? This is Danny Huckins, one half of 2-6 Up Your Rage. I also do a bunch of other content on YouTube. What is going on, man? I literally feel like, you know, I should be a huge part of the show just because I've done it almost the whole month.
I feel like at this point, you are pretty much the co-host here.
Yeah, I feel that way too.
Yeah,
So what's going on, man?
Hey, and so far, it's been working out really well. I feel like we both got this thing down. We both love professional wrestling. But hey, if you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet, help support the channel by hitting that subscribe button now, turning on the post notifications. Videos be coming out of nowhere like an RKO. And of course, you already know, the grind is real. And before we get into our quick takes and our topics for this week's episode of We Are Wrestling, two things I just want to say. One, apologize for this episode coming up a day late. We had some things coming up this week with all the freaking Monday Night Raw, AEW Dynamite reactions. And you know wrestling's been crazy this week because you've been doing those watch-alongs.
And we have Brock Lesnar showing up on SmackDown tonight.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's stacked. Plus, later on today, Danny and I are actually going to be going to Blitzkrieg Pro. We are a proud sponsor for them, and they have a pretty stacked card. And if you can't make it to the show, if you're not in the Springfield area, recommend you guys to go to iwtv.com, Blitzkrieg Pro, because it will be live, and they got some very stacked matches for this event that you're not going to want to miss.
We got WWE Hall of Famers. We got Impact stars. We got AEW stars. It's going to be a great time, man. And if anybody is in the
Impact Wrestling, too.
Impact Wrestling. If anybody's in the Connecticut or Massachusetts area, I definitely recommend you guys hit the show up, man. $25 a ticket. You guys are not going to want to miss it.
You can't go wrong. $25 for pure entertainment. A lot of my friends and I from Team Best One, they love to go to the shows as well because it's just a night out, it's cheap, and it's wrestling.
I guarantee you this is going to be better than anything WWE can put together.
Damn. Woo! That's a hot take right there, which it is actually kind of true. But, yeah, so let's get into our quick takes. We're going to take 10 minutes on this, of course, and then we're going to get into our regular topics.
Yeah, 10 minutes seems like a good time, man.
So starting off with our first quick take here. WWE Resigns Drake Maverick.
Yeah, I kind of saw this coming because back in 2020 he got released or whatever, and then Triple H ended up bringing him back while he was still under his 90-day no-compete, and he was in some kind of cruiserweight tournament thing going on in NXT. So this is the third time that they brought him back after they fired him. So I mean, if the guy wants to work and he has heart and he loves his business, why not? I do think he's an idiot for choosing WWE because they do have a habit of firing him. So
yes, that's what I was going to say about this, and this is why I wanted to make it a quick take because I love Drake Maverick. I was actually a fan of him with Rockstar Spud and Impact Wrestling.
Yep.
And even the 24/7 championship, what he was doing there for a little bit. I felt like it made the championship actually entertaining compared to this Reggie guy. But
oh yeah,
with the re-signing, I think that it's a good move to add him to the creative team because he does seem like he is creatively there. Better than probably the doofuses that they have writing their shows right now. But this is literally his third time that he's been hired within the last 2-3 years now, and yeah. I feel like WWE, if a place fired me more than one time, I would never go back there.
Now, has it come out that if he's gonna be working as a producer on NXT or Raw or SmackDown or?
I believe it's gonna be main roster. He's gonna be doing
main roster,
doing some creative team stuff. So obviously, if Raw and SmackDown still suck, you can still blame Drake Maverick.
WWE is a horrible product, but I will say Raw is a lot better than SmackDown. SmackDown doesn't really help anybody, especially now that Cesaro's gone.
I agree with that. So now moving on to our next quick take. Carmella and Corey Graves is set to have a new reality show.
And apparently, I saw the trailer, man. It's all about sex. So you know what? For all you perverts out there that'll like that, it's going to be on YouTube. Obviously, it's not going to be that raunchy. But I'm looking forward to it. I heard that each episode is going to be like 10 minutes long. Do you think that they're going to
demonetize them?
I hope. They don't need any more money.
Yeah. I feel like the Carmella and Corey Graves series, yeah, it looked very interesting in the trailer. Definitely not Monday Night Raw or SmackDown or NXT 2.0. Definitely not PG. But hey, I think that this will be an interesting reality show for the people that love Corey Graves and Carmella.
I mean, I'm definitely going to be checking it out. It is coming on Monday, I believe it premieres. But like I said, each episode is going to be like 10 minutes long, so it's almost going to be like a YouTube vlog and not like a reality show. Yeah, I have no idea what they're going to do with it.
Which the thing is, like for me, I feel like I get why they're probably putting it on YouTube because they can get more viewers, but I don't know why they don't put it on WWE Network. That's the only thing I'm kind of confused about.
Yeah.
But now moving on to our next quick take here. CM Punk and Samoa Joe are both getting inducted into the ROH Hall of Fame this year.
Yeah, I heard about CM Punk, I think, last week, and I think I told you about it when I found out.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago. And you called it. You called it. I remember.
And I haven't heard about Samoa Joe yet, but I mean, very well deserved. Samoa Joe is a beast. CM Punk's a beast. Like, this Hall of Fame class for ROH seems like it's fucking stacked.
It's really stacked. You have the Briscoe brothers, you have Bryan Danielson, CM Punk, and now Samoa Joe. I think CM Punk, this is where he first started. This is where CM Punk became CM Punk. It was from the Independents and Ring of Honor. And he called himself the best in the world. And I think Samoa Joe as well, he had a really long undefeated streak in Ring of Honor. Longer than his Impact or TNA undefeated streak when he arrived there. I think this is a great move for them. Samoa Joe well deserves to have this spot in the ROH Hall of Fame. Even though I know more of his work in Impact Wrestling than ROH, I think they still are both very well deserving of this.
Oh, absolutely.
Alright, so now moving on to the next one. You probably don't even know who she is. Rachel Elgren is no longer in Impact Wrestling.
Yeah, I saw a couple of her matches. I know her dad was the manager for Legion of Doom back in the day, if I remember correctly.
And he also did a little thing with NXT with the Black and Gold brand with Authors of Pain.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was a good tag team.
I don't know much about her, so I can't say, you know, whether that's a good move or a bad move. But I mean, it's interesting to see where she goes.
And that's the thing, I feel like she is getting a lot better in the ring. I feel like she's not fully there yet in the ring, but she is improving a lot more from when I first saw her wrestle a few years ago to now. Because I actually just got to see her wrestle Skylar over at a Blitzkrieg show, which if you're in the area, or IWTV, subscribe there, watch Blitzkrieg. But Rachel Elgren, she's getting really good. And it kind of sucks for Impact because their Knockouts division is really stacked, and now they just lost a really good female in their division. So I really hope with Rachel, she ends up going to either WWE or AEW. I think AEW definitely is probably the best spot for her to get better because their women's division, there's also a lot of females on there that are still looking to improve, and like they're not fully there yet. And I think that's why she would mold and fit right in with them. Because they would all just, I think, get better together. Because I think she was in WWE for a little bit with NXT, but then they kind of just let her go.
Yeah, she needs to. Nobody ever needs to go back to WWE ever again because they're gonna job you out for 2 weeks in a row and then they're gonna release you.
Yeah. So now moving on to our next quick take. Johnny Wrestling and Candice LeRae welcome a baby boy into the world.
Yeah, man. Johnny Gargano, one of the hottest free agents in the wrestling business, just had a baby. Congratulations. Have you ever watched any of his like Twitch streams or his YouTube channel or anything like that? It is fucking hilarious, dude. He has like almost a 20-minute video to where he brings out all of his gear from all the years he's been doing NXT TakeOver. He explains everything, goes over the designs, you know, his thought process going. I definitely recommend anybody watching those, man.
I will say Johnny had some of the best gear in NXT. Like the one that he had, like kind of like Shawn Michaels, I thought was so cool. And
he had
like
the,
how
like,
that
rhinestones on it.
Yeah, which was really cool about that because like the way they like basically dressed up as like one person from like the Clique, which was kind of cool around that time.
Now I have a question for you regarding this.
Woo! All right, shoot it.
Starting off, congratulations to Candice LeRae as well as Johnny Gargano. But where do you see him going? I figured he was gonna, take time off until the baby was born or whatever, spend some time at home, obviously. But where do you see him going when he does want to step back in the ring? Do you see him going to Impact, AEW, ROH maybe? Like, where do you see him going?
Johnny Wrestling, where I see him going, that's gonna be really hard because AEW is signing so many people now.
Yeah.
Like, we thought that it was bad before when they got Punk, Danielson, and a bunch of other people. Now they got Keith Lee, Buddy Matthews, and now, like, they're just continuing to keep signing people. I'm sure Jeff Hardy will be there pretty soon. And I feel like with Johnny, AEW is probably the best place for him to go, realistically.
I just don't want him to get lost in the shuffle, man. He's too fucking good.
That's what I'm nervous about, and I feel like one thing we're definitely going... This is 100% confirmed. Johnny Wrestling is going to be going all over the place wrestling. New Japan, that's a place I could see him wrestling.
Even if he goes to New Japan or Impact, though, he'll be able to come through the Forbidden Door and do, some storylines or whatever in AEW. So either way, it's a win-win as long as he doesn't go back to WWE, which I don't think is going to happen.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. But that was one person that was really never misused, though, in WWE. Like, Johnny was used really well. Even when he was a little bit of a comedy act with The Way, he still was used really well. They never took away his wrestling abilities.
Do you think that he was overshadowed when he got beat up on his last night when he was doing his speech?
No,
he got put through the table?
I think that was the right thing to do because if someone's leaving your business, your company, you want to put that small guy over. And I think they did that with Grayson Waller beating up Johnny. I thought that was a good move.
Yeah, but they haven't really done anything with Grayson Waller since.
Yes, after the AJ Styles thing, yes, they fumbled it with him. I agree with you on that. So now moving on to our next quick take here. This one's going to probably be super quick. Machine Gun Kelly is going to be a playable character in the greatest game ever, WWE 2K22.
Yeah, and he posted on Twitter that now everybody can just put me through tables. Hey, he did perform on Monday Night Raw, if I remember correctly, years ago.
When Kevin Owens power-bombed his ass through a table. I remember
So,
that.
I mean, next topic.
Yeah, Machine Gun Kelly. I like what's happened to him. Eminem dissed him bad.
I will say I like MGK's music, but keep MGK away from pro wrestling.
Yeah, and that was it for the quick takes, which is alright because the last quick take that we had, I am going to turn that into a topic later on in the show because I feel like we definitely can talk about it more. But wow, I think that was a pretty good quick take so far.
I think it was too, man.
Which I think before we get into our topics, we should definitely talk about AEW Dynamite this week a little bit. Because, you did a watch along and I did 4 reaction videos to it. What were your thoughts on the show?
I thought the show was phenomenal. I think it's phenomenal every week. I always say this whenever somebody asks. WWE is aimed towards more entertainment based and it's aimed towards children. AEW is like adult oriented entertainment. You know what I mean?
Closest thing to Ruthless Aggression and Attitude Era probably.
Everything from MJF's promo to the confrontation with Jericho and Kingston. Like, I mean, come on, dude. This week was phenomenal. I can't even put it into words.
I'm still at a loss of words for MJF's promo. I think that was one of the greatest promos I've ever watched in my entire life.
And I heard something that somebody was saying, and I can't remember where I heard it.
No, that promo was real, too.
I know.
Like, he had that on Facebook. That's crazy.
I was watching a wrestling review or wrestling YouTuber or something like that. And they said that every supervillain has an origin story. They are not all evil all the time.
And that's the thing I really like, because in this promo, like, he gave the backstory to why he is the way he is. And I think that, like, there's a lot of truth to it. And I think that this, like, took MJF to the next level. I thought after their first match, like, okay, like, MJF can go for the world title, but wow, I am proud to say I was wrong.
Dude, MJF is just greatest heel in the fucking business, man. Hands
Easily.
down.
And right now I think he's the greatest in wrestling, period, I think.
And then CM Punk came down and he just kept asking if he's true, and it's true. And if you notice when CM Punk is in the ring, he has his fist balled up. Like, he knows that MJF is full of shit or whatever. But and then when you, like, on the hard cam, when you see MJF crying, dude, oh my fucking God.
You felt that shit. You felt that fucking shit. And that is right there. Like, that is something. I feel like what MJF brings to wrestling is what's missing. Like, yes, we see all these flips and gymnastics and all that crap, which, let me tell you, like, some of it's all right, but, like, sometimes it becomes way too much.
But you also got to look at the fact that, yes, it is MJF, but it's not all MJF. He has to have a partner in order to tell this story. You know what I mean? And I feel
absolutely.
Like,
and CM Punk's the best person.
Yeah.
Easily. Because CM Punk gets what wrestling is. And that's why I think all of us love CM Punk so freaking much. Is because we don't have guys like CM Punk and Bryan Danielson anymore. A lot of them, they just rather get a oh my God chant than tell a story. And I think what MJF and CM Punk have done, they've told an incredible story.
Do you think because of all the nods or whatever towards, you know, WWE, especially during the Jericho and Kingston, you know, promo or whatever, do you think that we're going to hear anything on SmackDown or Monday Night Raw, like, you know, shots at AEW?
Usually they try to throw little shots here and there. I definitely could see that, but I feel like right now, usually when it's Road to WrestleMania, WWE doesn't care about anything else but WrestleMania. So I feel like they're not really caring too much.
This Revolution pay-per-view, though, is blowing anything WWE could put together out of the water, dude.
Oh yeah, like if I didn't have Peacock and I had to buy WWE WrestleMania or AEW, I'm picking AEW.
Absolutely, man.
I'll pick Revolution.
I mean, you have to think about
because of MJF and Punk.
You have to think about everything that we got, man. We got Jericho and Kingston. We got Punk and MJF in a dog collar match. What do you got on WrestleMania? You got fucking Johnny Knoxville going for the IC title, and you got Logan Paul teaming up with The Miz.
I was happy about the Logan Paul thing. I will admit that. I can't lie there. That was actually, I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, no, you're right.
I'm gonna kick you off your own show.
What? The Miz is the Jake Paul of WWE. I think it's perfect.
Yeah, but WrestleMania should be taken serious. There's so many people in the locker room.
Back in WrestleMania, here's the thing I will say, and I might get some heat on this take here, but WrestleMania has always been known for the celebrities, and I feel like Logan Paul coming in, I feel like is a lot better than Bad Bunny coming in. Even though Bad Bunny did really good, don't get me wrong, but I feel like having Logan Paul is a lot better.
Logan Paul could barely do a fucking whatever the fuck Miz's finishing move is. I don't even remember.
Yeah, that wasn't the best. He's got some work.
But like, and I understand WrestleMania, you know, you gotta have, you know, the celebrity factor.
Johnny Knoxville, I don't
You couldn't have saved that till next year. And there's so many people in the company that work their asses off. Even if they're not on TV, they're doing house shows night after night, night after night, night after night. There's so many more people more deserving of that spot. You know what I mean?
Oh, that take there, I absolutely agree with you on 100%. It's just unfortunate because WWE, they just don't really know how to use a lot of these guys that are wrestling the house shows.
Instead of Johnny Knoxville, by the way, who had some kind of fucking brain injury months ago, and WWE's actually gonna, you know, I think that's kind of a reliability.
Yeah, Tyson Kidd can't wrestle, or Paige.
But instead of having Johnny Knoxville fight for the IC title, why not give the shot to Ricochet? Ricochet and fucking Sami Zayn. Are you kidding me? You're telling me that's not a WrestleMania match?
Oh, that is a WrestleMania match, but they don't really know that stuff.
Fuck WWE, fuck Vince McMahon, fuck Bruce Pritchard, fuck Nick Khan, fuck all them motherfuckers.
Kevin Dunn, fuck John Laurinaitis. Yeah, the Stooges, that's what I like to call them.
It's kind of ironic because Daniel Bryan's or Bryan Danielson. Wow. His father-in-law is John Laurinaitis.
Yeah, I feel like Thanksgiving and Christmas is a little awkward, but that's all right. Maybe John Laurinaitis is doing this stuff because Bryan Danielson's in AEW. Maybe he's sabotaging WWE for his son-in-law or something like that. I don't know.
Who knows? On to the next topic.
Yeah, so now let's get into our actual topics here. But overall, Dynamite, you thought it was great, right?
I thought it was good. What'd you think? I saw some of your reactions. Yeah. You posted a bunch of reactions. One of them has over 1,000 views. I can't remember which one, but
oh yeah, lots of growing on the reactions. A lot of people enjoy that. I thought overall it was a really good show from start to finish. Everything was really good. I felt like, especially Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish with the Young Bucks, they told the story in that match, in that Battle Royal.
Dude, I thought FTR was going to win that match.
They had my eyes glued to that, and I paid full attention because when they saved Kyle O'Reilly from the elimination, and then Kyle O'Reilly turns his back because they want the shot at the tag titles, it was a perfect story.
Well, you damn well know the Young Bucks would have did the same exact fucking thing. And I was thinking about that the entire thing.
Absolutely. And then Hangman cut one of the best promos as a champion finally.
That was time with Adam Page, baby.
That's the thing. I have been waiting for that. It had him Hangman Page. That's what I've been waiting for, and I felt like we haven't gotten that since he won the championship till Wednesday.
Yep.
And I felt like Raw actually was all right too. It wasn't even really that bad.
It was an okay show.
It wasn't the best, but it was all right. I felt
nothing compared to AEW. I don't think.
Oh no.
WWE has themselves in such a ditch lately. It's going to take a long time before they're able to get on the same level as AEW, if it ever happens again.
Yeah. One more thing before we get into the actual topics here. Who do you think is going to be Brock Lesnar's mystery opponent at Madison Square Gardens?
Well, it's not Bobby Lashley. They're hyping it up like it's going to be Bobby Lashley.
Some people are speculating that
Elias, I don't know.
a lot of people are speculating that could be Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, but it's not going to be a televised event. They're having a hard time at selling out Madison Square Garden for that show. That's why they're announcing it on television. It's not going to be televised or anything like that. So they're not going to bring Cody Rhodes in on a random house show.
It will probably be a network exclusive, though.
I doubt it.
I think the mystery for Brock Lesnar, it's probably just going to be a normal wrestler, I think.
I think it's going to be somebody like Elias. Let's go down the list, okay? What wrestlers that are either in WWE or out or signed to WWE but out with an injury that Paul Heyman has worked with before?
Here's who I think Brock Lesnar is going to go against, and this is, I feel like, a Hail Mary here.
Unless it's
he's going to go against Ciampa, I feel like. Tommaso Ciampa.
No, that wouldn't be a good match. Walter?
Yeah.
Or it could even be a handicap match with the Usos.
Which I could see that happening, definitely. Which I think should be the match to be happening, not a WWE title match.
I just don't like the fact that, I mean, everybody knows Lesnar's not going to fucking lose because they've already been hyping up the title versus title match at WrestleMania, so it's pretty much pointless at this point.
If they take that away, you know how much people are going to hate that? It's going to be hilarious, I feel like.
Dude, WWE gets so much hate on their fucking... I remember probably like 3 months ago, I spammed all of WWE social media accounts and just said, WWE sucks, WWE sucks. Like, just going all the way down. I didn't get banned or nothing, though.
Hey, that's good at least. All right, so now let's get into our first topic now. So here we go. Our first topic for this week's episode of We Are Wrestling. AEW picked up Brian Cage's option on his contract. So now he has one more year with All Elite Wrestling. How do you feel about this?
As long as they use him correctly, like, Brian Cage is a big fucking guy. Not the greatest worker, but he's a big fucking guy, and I feel like if they utilize him, you know, maybe, like, have him like training at the Nightmare Factory or whatever training facility that is in association with AEW. I feel like there's a lot of people, especially now, that he could have matches with. He could have matches with Keith Lee. I think him and Will Hobbs would have, a killer story going on there. So, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like with Brian Cage, here's my thoughts. This was a dumb move on Tony Khan. I feel like Tony Khan, I don't know why he would pick up his second year into his contract when he had a good thing going with Team Taz.
I feel like
it was really well, but then it just went downhill.
I feel like Brian Cage should let his contract run out and go to WWE. I mean, he personifies what Vince McMahon likes in a fucking wrestler. Like, the fucking big, beefy guy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He would probably get utilized good. And I mean, I could see him going against Roman Reigns.
But I am not the biggest fan of Brian Cage. Like, yes, he has a look. Yes, he is all right in the ring. But, like, when it comes to independent wrestling, Brian Cage is phenomenal. He is really good. But I feel like with television wrestling, which I think the two are completely different, Brian Cage is not really the best when it comes to television matches compared to his work with the independents.
Exactly. So let him be WWE's issue.
Exactly. That's what I think. Now that we have all our wonderful
He'll make money. He'll become
wrestlers.
A name. A bigger name than obviously he would be in
Or
AEW.
control your narrative. Or if he joined EC3's new promotion. I think that would be a good promotion for him to get better at.
They just signed Austin Aries.
Yeah, which that will be a topic later on in the talk show. But, man, Brian Cage, I feel like, I don't know why Tony Khan is still trying with him. I'd rather have them freaking re-sign Joey Janela over Brian Cage. I feel like Joey Janela brings more to the freaking table than Brian Cage does. Brian Cage, like, with Team Taz, he was good. But then after Team Taz, he just hasn't been the same since. I feel like the last good match that he had was that Revolution match when it was him and Starks versus Sting and Darby in that cinematic match. Because, let's be honest here, Brian Cage's last match against Ricky Starks for the championship, Ricky Starks carried his ass throughout that match.
Yep.
If you watched it.
I just saw Brian Cage in a tag team match at Warrior Wrestling 19. It was like an indie show in Chicago, and I streamed it. And that match was actually really good. They fought I think they fought the Acclaimed. And I can't remember who Brian Cage's partner was, but it was a really good fucking match.
Well, plus too, that I guess he brought back the Mohawk as well, which I think it looks kind of goofy on him, just because he's a big, beefy guy, so I don't know. I feel like Brian Cage, it's just time AEW moves on from him. This was a bad move on Tony Khan, I will admit.
I mean, worse things have happened, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But now moving on to our next topic for this week's episode. Speaking of your favorite promotion, WWE, the phenomenal one, AJ Styles, has signed back with WWE, a 3-year deal. Big money.
I think I said this several weeks ago. It might have even been the first time that I was actually on the show, that he likes the position that he's in the company. You know what I mean? AJ Styles is such a household name, and he still gets a reaction. They're always going to have a spot for him, regardless of what it is. I mean, we saw that when he was teaming up with Omos. And, he has kids, he has a wife, he has, a house or whatever that he has to pay for. I understand why, especially, I mean, $3 million is a lot of money. You know what I mean?
Wasn't it $3 million per year, too?
Yep, $3 million a year.
Which, man, AJ Styles deserves to have that bag.
It sounds very similar. The negotiations and the deal sound a lot similar that like Kevin Owens' deal. I think he got the $3 million for 3 years, and he had it written in his contract that he can't be released.
Yeah, which I'm sure AJ Styles probably has that as well, even though he knows that he's not going to get released with them.
Yeah, he's not going to get released.
And here's the thing. I feel like I know a lot of people are probably pissed off that, the phenomenal one, I would love to see him back in Impact or go to AEW. But for me, I feel like this is a good move for WWE. They need superstars because for me, yes, and I think you're going to agree with me on this take here. We all really don't like the creative direction with WWE.
Yeah.
And it's not that freaking we want WWE to fail and shit. We want a good wrestling show to compete against AEW. There's so many talented fucking guys that bust their ass and then they get released and then freaking they're jobless because what? Their doofus's creative team cannot come up with something for them.
Yeah.
It's mind-boggling. And I feel like AJ Styles absolutely deserves to have this contract because if he left, I don't know who else freaking can compare to AJ Styles.
And
because I feel like nobody can lace his boots.
And he's going to be having a match with Edge at Mania. I mean, it's pretty much a done deal at this point.
Oh, yeah, definitely if he re-signed. It's Edge versus Styles. That's going to be the dream match, which I feel like AJ Styles will always have a spot in WWE.
Didn't Edge say in his promo on Monday that he wants his next opponent to be phenomenal? Right then and there, man. You know it's going to be AJ Styles.
But but here's the thing I love about this. They are setting this up as a dream match, and they are setting this up as a big deal, which I love about this whole Edge promo on Raw. And I think AJ Styles, it's going to make him even more of a bigger deal going into WrestleMania against Edge.
Yeah.
Because this is a match that I feel like if you're a true professional wrestling fan, you want to see this match for
absolutely.
years. Because they've never wrestled each other, which is crazy.
No, because AJ Styles went from WCW to Impact, and then after Impact, I think he did maybe a stint here and there, Ring of Honor. Yep, and then he went to WWE in 2016. By the time he got to the WWE, Edge was already long gone. So
he was retired due to the neck injury, which I think AJ Styles. WWE, a lot of people can hate on this. I think that this is a good move for him. He's looking out for him and his family, and he's already in a good position, so why would he change that now? He's already done all the things that he could have done outside the independent circuit. He ran the independent circuit, Ring of Honor, TNA, Impact Wrestling, and then going to Ring of Honor in New Japan, becoming one of the biggest names out there. Which he is one of the reasons why a company like All Elite Wrestling happened. But I feel like him leaving WWE to go back to that, I feel like he doesn't have to because he's already done it.
I feel like
he's home.
I feel like AJ Styles would have a good feud with Roman Reigns, and possibly I think he would be a huge contender to be able to take the belt off of Reigns. Because I heard
that would be a good feud.
I heard in a couple months, I heard rumblings around that WWE wants to at some point convert Roman back into being a babyface. But they haven't done anything to build up any new stars or whatever to be that top tier heel. You know what I mean? Yeah. I feel like AJ Styles could be that person. I mean, it's fucking AJ Styles, man. You're telling me you're not gonna like him being WWE champion?
Oh, he could be one of the top baby faces in your promotion, or he could be one of the top heels in your promotion. That's how phenomenal he is.
I think he should feud with Roman Reigns at some point. After Mania, get the Edge shit out of the way. It's a dream match. Everybody's gonna love to see it. And then maybe trade him to SmackDown, trade somebody else to Raw, and that opens up the feud for Roman and AJ
hopefully
Styles.
After the champion versus champion, there's no more brands. But they need a brand.
That's true. But just because it's champion versus champion, and everybody knows that Roman Reigns is gonna beat Brock Lesnar, I don't. Just because it's gonna be champion versus champion doesn't necessarily mean that brand split's gonna end. That's what I want. I want the brand split to end because they don't have the star power to withhold two brands. But who knows what the fuck WWE wants to do?
Man, I agree. So now moving on to our next topic here. Speaking of the new promotion, EC3's Control Your Narrative, Austin Aries confirmed that he is joining the Control Your Narrative promotion. How do you feel about that?
He smokes a lot of weed, man. Have you seen the interview that he did with Chris Van Vliet?
Yes, I did.
It's like an hour and a half of him just smoking and telling stories. It's fucking awesome. Austin Aries, I don't know much about him. I know he was huge in Impact. But outside of that, and maybe he did like a match or two here and there for AEW, I can't remember. But I don't know too much about him, like his history or whatever, and like what he's done, where he's been. So I'm gonna let you take the reins on this one.
Austin Aries joining the Control Your Narrative promotion. Honestly, they couldn't have found a better person for this promotion. They are starting this promotion from the ground up, and what better way than the greatest man that ever lived with Austin Aries. He is really freaking good in the ring. He's done solid work with Ring of Honor, TNA, Impact Wrestling, and even WWE with their Cruiserweight 205 division.
Yep.
But I feel like after his second or third Impact run with the whole Johnny Impact thing, a lot of promotions did not want to have him anymore because they were sick of his ego, because he does have a very big ego backstage. A lot of people say it's very similar to the way Shawn Michaels acted in the 90s,
Yep.
which a lot of people feel like Austin Aries shouldn't be having that type of ego, which I know we probably all agree on that. But I think that this is a good way for Austin Aries to redeem himself, because with this Control Your Narrative promotion, you control your narrative. And I feel like Austin Aries' narrative his whole career has been, you are this egotistical bastard. You don't care about your opponents. You don't care about anybody but Austin Aries. And I feel like that's been his narrative his whole career, and I feel like that's why he's joining this promotion, because now he can tell his story, and people can either love him or hate him.
Yep. Hey,
and
man.
He's very good in the ring.
Hey, man, we're just going to see what happens with the developments of the story. I mean, I'm still not crazy about this new promotion or whatever. I don't know much about it. Do they have a TV deal yet?
That I'm not 100% sure on. I feel like I think they're going to be announcing it within the next few weeks. But right now, I think it's 5 people that are confirmed that I know. There's EC3, Braun Strowman, also Killer Cross, Josh Woods, who's an ROH guy. I believe he's their pure champion, which he's actually very underrated in the ring. And then Austin Aries, which they're going to be wrestling Woods and Aries for their first show, which I think is going to be a pretty good match.
I'm definitely intrigued to see what it's all about. It could be really, really fucking amazing, or it could just, bomb. So, I mean, until we see like that first show, I mean, it's all speculation at this point.
I agree, and the thing is, it's crazy. The reason why I'm like really big on this Control Your Narrative promotion is because we need another promotion to go against AEW, and clearly WWE, they just don't care anymore. They're making their freaking money. They have their guys. That's all they really care about. And with AEW, like, it's the best freaking wrestling out there, and I feel like we need somebody to, compete against them. And I think having right there, Aries, Strowman, EC3, and
my only concern,
stacked. Great start.
I didn't mean to cut you off. My only concern is Vince McMahon is a billionaire, Tony Khan is a billionaire. Braun Strowman and EC3, not so much. Tony Khan has money to back up into this company. Starting a wrestling promotion is not fucking cheap, man.
I agree, and I feel like the thing
and
is,
if this whole thing does bomb, they're gonna owe a lot of people a lot of fucking money.
And that's the thing. I feel like they definitely are smart with their money, Braun Strowman and EC3, because
do they have any backers, like anybody, like any financial advisors or anybody, or like any like sponsors or anything like that?
That I feel like is going to be announced within the next few weeks, because their show is coming up. So I'm sure there's going to be more information on that we're probably going to be covering on the We Are Wrestling Talk show.
Probably.
But hey, we'll see, because right now there is still, some time left.
I'm interested in finding out what happens.
All right, so now moving on to our last topic before the main event topic here. This is an AEW topic. AEW is interested in Isaiah Swerve Scott. He was the leader of Hit Row. How do you feel about that?
Isaiah Swerve Scott, now I stopped watching NXT a while ago. And I know Hit Row, they were brought up to the main roster, and AJ Francis went on Twitter or something and said something or whatever, WWE didn't like it, and they ended up getting released ironically a couple days later. AJ Francis was also the guy that hosted that A&E wrestling, like
Yes,
WWE for the
that was a
whatever.
good show when they like did the it was like with their props and stuff,
Yep, that was a really
trying to
good
find
show.
their treasures. That was a good show.
That was a really good show. I could see it, Isaiah Swerve Scott going to AEW. He is very talented. He was definitely, you know, in the top tier when it comes to cruiserweights. But I feel like we've been saying for the last couple of weeks, AEW is a little bit overcrowded. They have some big names. I feel like somebody like Isaiah Swerve Scott, who has a name for himself, but I mean, he's no Bryan Danielson, he's no MJF, he's no CM Punk. I feel like he could possibly get lost in the shuffle and he could be fucking feuding with Isaiah Cassidy.
Yeah, and that's the thing that's very scary right now, and I think a lot of AEW, these free agents are not really thinking about.
I feel like
your spot, and that's why Cody, I feel like, left.
I feel like if I was Scott, I would go to Impact or go to Ring of Honor and do like one-offs here and there for AEW, get my name out there more, and then, you know, a couple months or maybe like 2 years from now, you know, once you have a really big name, you're established in with the AEW crowd coming in, and maybe they'll have a spot for you. I wouldn't do it right now though.
Here's what I think about this. I feel like we all know how talented Isaiah is in the ring. He is really clean with his work, and I feel like this would be a good move for him in the ring. But here's the thing that kind of scares me about this. And my take might be a little bit different than other people's takes on this because everybody's probably like, AEW needs Isaiah, this, and that.
Yeah.
I feel like for me, when he joined WWE, I'm not going to lie, I did not know who he was. And I feel like a lot of people didn't really know who he was until they had Hit Row behind him. And I think that made him a legitimate star. And I feel like he's that type of guy because of his height and like how he like portrays himself. I feel like he needs to have a big guy by his side. Because I felt like that's what Top Dollar brought with him, AJ Francis. And I feel like the thing is, like, I would like to see Isaiah be a face, be a good guy for a little bit, just do some dark matches, do some elevation matches, and then when you get him on Dynamite, have him maybe have a nice competitive match with one of their top faces. Then what you could do right there, he loses to the top face, and then he attacks that person, and the next thing you know, maybe some of his old members of Hit Row, they come and they form a new group.
Yep.
Or something like that. Because I feel like Isaiah, he needs to have either a valet or manager or just a top, like a big guy.
I feel like that's one thing about AEW
His
that I feel like
for me, character is a big thing.
I do feel like there's a lot of like managers in AEW more so than other wrestling companies. You know what I mean? It almost seems like everybody has a fucking manager.
Yeah, even best friends. They got Orange Cassidy, Yuta, all of those guys.
Fucking Lance Archer has Jake the Snake, like,
and Dan Lambert now.
Yeah. I just feel like, you know, the manager pool in AEW is a little bit overpopulated.
Yeah, but here's the thing with Isaiah. For me, character is a huge thing, and I feel like when Isaiah won the North American Championship and he had Hit Row by his side, a great character, that's when Isaiah was on top of his game. And the fact that he never really got the chance to show what he could do on the main roster, it's crazy to me. What? Because friggin' Top Dollar made a friggin' post about the Young Bucks and shoes?
Yeah.
This is what this friggin' world has come to. And they're gonna fire somebody over shoes.
I didn't see it. I'm not like, I do have a Twitter account, but I'm not like active on it or anything like that. I barely ever use it. But didn't AJ Francis, Top Dollar, didn't he make a diss track on somebody? And
he did it to the Young Bucks, which I thought was hilarious.
And WWE weren't okay with it or whatever. I don't know. I don't know the full story, but
they're pretty upset about that. All because the Young Bucks said that they had better shoes than the whole Black and Gold brand. And he said that Top Dollar shoes were fake or something. So he made a diss track on it. But I don't know. I feel like Isaiah, he definitely needs to have. As long as he has character, I think he will thrive in AEW. But if they bring him just because of his in-ring abilities, it's not going to go anywhere, unfortunately. Which I
Yeah.
hope isn't the case, because I really enjoyed Hit Row. They were actually a really good faction, and I think Isaiah's great. He just needs character.
I didn't see much of Hit Row. I saw him some backstage segments. Like my one of my most notable segments to me was when they were Sami Zayn was talking to them backstage on SmackDown or whatever and showing them like the proper way to do an entrance, and Sami Zayn went out in front of the crowd and started fucking like dancing around and doing his whole thing. And then
Yeah.
Hit Row came out and they fucking just started laughing at him.
Yeah.
And then
And
they
I
got
think,
released like a week later or something like that.
which is crazy. And I think like with Hit Row, when they got called up to the main roster, it still wasn't the same because they got rid of BFAB, and she was an important part in the Hit Row group before she got released. Which I don't know why they did that. I think for budgets, but who knows?
I was saying this to somebody else last night, and because I say it a lot. I'm a part of a lot of wrestling groups or whatever, and people are just so disappointed whenever they see a WWE releasing talent. Everybody's like, "Oh my god, why would they do this?" Yada yada yada. Why would anybody want to invest their time in WWE? Invest your time in a lot of these guys that they're bringing in if we already know the outcome to it. Why are you going to invest in somebody that, like Harlan? He wasn't on Vengeance Day. He might very well be getting released soon. Who knows? Like, why invest in these guys if you already know they're going to get released at some point? WWE is just doing it to themselves.
Yeah, and I think I'm going to leave it as this so that we can lead into our main event topic here. WWE expects these talent to grab this so-called brass ring that's not even real,
Yeah.
and then they try to grab it, and then WWE says poof, like the fairy godparents, and they basically it disappears.
Yep.
And then they end up moving on from WWE. But now, speaking of brass rings, somebody that grabbed the brass ring, I felt like multiple times, our main event topic for this week's episode of the We Are Wrestling Talk Show. Cesaro and WWE are no longer working together. Cesaro's contract expired. He refused to renew it, and now he is officially a free agent. No non-90-day compete clause. He actually can go to any promotion any day.
Where do you see him going?
I think there's two promotions. I said this in my recent video a couple days ago. I made a quick take on it, but now, since we have the talk show, we can actually get into more detail about this. There's two promotions that I think of. Well, actually three, now that I'm actually thinking about it. The first one, All Elite Wrestling, obviously. That would be really freaking cool. Another promotion, MLW. I think that would be another good promotion because it's kind of like a sports league. And we all know Cesaro is a technical freaking genius in that ring. And he would probably love to have hour matches against people. And that's what MLW lets you do.
Yeah.
And the third one, either Ring of Honor or New Japan Pro Wrestling. And he partners back up with his old teammate, Chris Hero. And they bring back the art of wrestling. I believe that was the name.
Hey man, like I'm a fan of Cesaro, the Swiss Superman, the Swiss Cyborg, whatever you want to call him. I, always thought that he could be a main event guy. Vince McMahon obviously didn't think so. It actually came out to light that back in 2015 when Vince McMahon was on Stone Cold's podcast, he was talking about Cesaro and said that Cesaro is very plain and boring, and he doesn't see him ever being a main event guy. So I feel like a lot of this time, like Cesaro's kind of wasted his time being with the company, which is probably why he wanted a bigger push. WWE and Vince McMahon weren't, up to be doing that. So I could definitely see him going somewhere, but being on the road for 12 plus years, he's probably going to want to spend some time with his family, hang out at home, just fucking do nothing.
Yeah, he's definitely probably going to take a little bit of a break from professional wrestling. I definitely see that happening. I believe Cesaro, I feel like he's going to definitely team back up with Chris Hero. I feel like that's definitely going to happen. If it doesn't happen in a promotion, it will happen in the independents. I definitely see the two growing. And I definitely see Cesaro, going to AEW. I feel like that's like the best place for him to go. And I
Yep.
think I think we really could see him win the world championship, if I'm being completely honest. That's one
could
guy
definitely see that too.
because like if CM Punk goes for the world championship and maybe wins it, I know any of these guys wouldn't mind putting Cesaro over.
Yep.
And
I
I
could
feel
definitely see
like
it happening.
it's definitely the best thing for business.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Which, I don't know, it sucks that in WWE he didn't have the run that we wanted because so many times this guy grabbed the brass ring. I actually really enjoyed my favorite work from Cesaro was actually before he got the swing over and before the Andre the Giant. I really enjoyed that United States Championship run
Oh
as
yeah,
Antonio
definitely.
Cesaro. That was
Definitely.
my favorite Cesaro in WWE. All right, so with Cesaro, like I was saying, I feel like AEW is definitely the best option for him, and it's like so many times this guy grabbed the brass ring and it was just not good enough.
Yep.
Even the tag teams he had with Sheamus, The Bar, him and Tyson Kidd was really good, and it sucks to see a talent like him go.
The Bar was like his most notable tag team stable though.
We
I
are
don't
The Bar.
I don't remember my recollection, I don't remember there's no other tag team that he's been involved with that is that memorable, you know what I mean? I feel like they broke up him and Sheamus way too soon.
Yeah, and I really liked how they built that tag team as well. They had like a 7 series match, so it
Yep.
kind of gave them that respect to each other, which made them a dominant tag team.
Yep.
And I feel like just overall, it's like so many opportunities they have. Like his swing was over at WrestleMania last year. Like, how do you not know how to use this guy? It's crazy because a lot of the international guys that are American, they are some of the best heels, some of the best world champions that we have in wrestling.
Yep.
And he could have been one of them, I felt like.
I mean, we're just gonna have to wait and see where he goes. Hopefully, he goes somewhere where he'll be utilized. I could definitely see Cesaro being a world champion. I feel like WWE doesn't know how to utilize talent the right way.
He's going to have a lot of fun in the independents. And I really hope to see him and Chris Hero team up one more time. That would be really cool. But hey,
Yeah.
we'll see what happens. But
There's
anything else you
There's one more topic that we really need to discuss real quick, and
okay.
it's just because it's gonna be announced before we're able to do the next episode. Tony Khan was on Busted Open Radio today, man, and he said that this massive announcement that he's been hyping up, he's gonna be announcing it Wednesday on Dynamite, man. It could be anything. It could be some kind of massive event involving New Japan and AEW. It could be maybe him taking AEW overseas. It could be, maybe he purchased Ring of Honor. It could be anything, man. It could be Shane
I did
McMahon.
hear a speculation, and I heard something as well that WWE's not going to be buying the Ring of Honor library. Actually, AEW is pretty close to a deal on that.
So
Not the promotion itself, but the library. Which I think would be really cool because they have a lot of talent that came from Ring of Honor.
I could
so
definitely
use that for
see
video packages.
I could definitely see Tony Khan purchasing Ring of Honor, though. Tony Khan is, he's a fan of pro wrestling. Why wouldn't he want this other promotion that has been widely successful over the years? You know what I mean?
Ooh, I think I know it. I have two things I think the announcement could be.
That would open up the door for tag teams like the Briscoes and other people that are there.
Here's what I think. I have two Hail Marys I think that this announcement could be. Because with Tony Khan, you never know. Like, until Dynamite, this is the thing I think a lot of us love about AEW. The first Hail Mary I'm going to throw out there, I think that he could be announcing the 6-man tag team championships. I feel like that could be one of them. Because it's been speculated for such a long time that we were going to get these titles.
This has been such a big announcement, though, he had to sign an NDA, so he said nobody knows. So it's something massive. I don't think tag team titles, is that like it'd be good, but
Hardy.
I don't even think that's.
It's gonna be big. Jeff Hardy to AEW. That's what I think.
I don't even think it's gonna be that big. And
because he already put the thing out there that.
Yeah, but his 90 days known compete clause doesn't end until March 9th. So it can't be Jeff Hardy.
Damn.
That's why I'm saying Jeff Hardy's not even gonna show up at Revolution.
Damn. Yeah, you're kind of right about that. So, I don't know what this could be because it could be literally anything. Maybe
he struck a deal with somebody overseas or whatever. Maybe he's gonna be taking.
Or AEW is going to the UK. They're gonna have a couple shows in the UK.
That's overseas, guy. That's what I was just saying.
Yeah, I think that might be what it is, most likely.
I don't know, man. Well, make sure everybody that's watching this, man, make sure you guys tune into AEW Dynamite Wednesday, TBS. It's going to be fucking huge, man. I'm looking forward to it. You're going to be doing reactions. I'll be streaming live. It's going to be a great show.
And hey, if you guys enjoyed this week's episode of the We Are Wrestling Talk Show, apologize once again for it being a day late. Make sure to smash that like button now. If you're not a We Are Wrestling maniac yet already and you love professional wrestling or even sports entertainment like our buddy Danny here, make sure to support the channel by hitting that subscribe button now, turning on the post notifications. We are 200 subscribers strong, which is absolutely crazy.
Follow me on Instagram.
That's right, and I was just going to get there. The link's down in the description below. You can go follow Danny and I on all of our social medias and our other YouTube channels as well. All the links are down in the description below. But of course, to all the We Are Wrestling maniacs out there worldwide, I hope you guys tune in later on tonight for IWTV for Blitzkrieg Pro Live. We will be in the house sponsoring the VSK versus Travis Huckabee match for the Bellum Championship.
It's going to be good stuff, man.
And of course, you already know, we are taking over. Peace.